Hey, what's up? Okay, so I'm gonna start this off with the disclaimer of excuse any slurring and or incoherence. I just got home from a night of celebrating a fantastic event. Okay, so I'll start with tonight. I went to the bar to look for my friends to celebrate Monday's occurrences, and they were all gone. And so I was talking to the bartender who I know, and I was like, yeah, nobody's here. And one of the brothers from this crazy independent co-ed fraternity that I'm a part of was like, oh, so I'm nobody? And I'm like, oh, hey, Jesse, what's up? So anyway, Jesse and I were real cool prior to transition, and then he got kind of awkward. And then tonight happened, and, you know, we drank and chilled, and he was supposed to ride home with another brother named Joel. But, I didn't want to drink alone, and Jesse wasn't done drinking, so I told him I'd take him home. So we drank and we talked and whatnot, and I take him home, and there was this pretty serious rift between the brothers and the sisters. There's a secret handshake for the brotherhood that was not so secret. The majority of the sisters knew it, but anyway, they would never give it to the sisters. So I take Jesse home and we shake hands and say goodbye, and he's like, you know what? Come here. And shakes my hand again and gives me the brother handshake. And that was epically awesome. He was the first brother to acknowledge that I'm a brother. So anyway, let's discuss the evening, or the events that was Monday morning. So my mom was supposed to come with me to court on Monday for my gender change. My court was at 9, and so I called my mom at 8:30. I call her cell phone, she didn't answer. I call home, she didn't answer, and I'm like, don't even tell me. So I call work, and guess what? She answers. My mom works about 45 minutes away from where I live / where court is. And I was like, what are you doing at work? And she's like, what do you mean, what am I doing at work? And I was like, we have court in 30 minutes. She was like, oh, shit. Well, I mean, I could leave now, but I don't think I would make it, do you? And I was like, no. So she was like, I'm real sorry. I don't know how much was her choosing not to go and how much was her legitimately forgetting, but whatever. So I get to court, and the bailiff is like, you know, what are you here for? And I was like, I've got, you know, a set time at 9 o'clock. Asks me my name, and he told me that court was apparently at 9:30. And my other roommate, who is supposed to take me to IHOP, just came home, so I'll finish this story in a minute. I love y'all. Bye. Or not. Okay, so my other roommate is a bit of a princess. She comes home in some moods sometimes, whatever. I go outside, and I was like, so you come to get me in a car and take me and whatnot to food? She was like, no. So I threw some pizza in the oven, and I'll eat it as soon as I'm done making this. Anyway, so he tells me that apparently my appointment is at 9:30. Okay, whatever. So I sit there and I watch a whole bunch of, you know, cases go in and out and whatnot. And he finally calls me up. Mind you, I'm on my own. I don't have a lawyer for this. And so I go up there, and I was expecting it to be a lot like my name change, where the judge just asked me a few questions and then said, okay, order granted. Except I forgot that for my name change I had a lawyer who did the mock-up and presented the case. Cool. So he's just, I'm sitting there looking at him, and he's looking at me, and this occurs, and I'm like, oh shit. I have to do a mock-up of my case. Okay. So I rely on the past hour and a half, 2 hours, court ran late, and I got there early, of cases that I had watched come in and out, and I mock up my case, and I begin to present my case, and he was like, I did reference some sections of the Health and Public Safety Code, or whatever it is, and he was like, okay, I'm going to stop you. I need to see copies of these sections that you referenced. I don't know if he was trying to make my life difficult and fuck with me, or if he was trying to cover his own ass. So I just look at him totally lost, and he's like, there's a legal library across the hall, and I'm like, okay. So I walk into this legal library. It is bigger than your average house full of books of nothing but laws. FML. Cool. So I start looking, and I luck out, and I find the section that I'm looking for, health and public safety or whatever, public safety and health and whatever. And so I start, I was like, okay, I'm looking for section 190.11 or whatever it was, and I find that, and then I find the other section that I referenced, and I take copies, and I go back in there. And by this point, he's hearing another case. Big shock. And so, God bless the bailiff in that courtroom. The case that he was hearing walks outside. They had to go, the judge told him to go outside and talk about something, whatever. Don't know. And so the bailiff pulls me aside and says, when this case is done, or he says, they're outside talking, they're going to be back in here in a minute. I'm going to go outside and stall them. When this case is done, ask for permission to approach. And I was like, okay. So the case finished, and I asked for permission to approach, and the judge said, okay. And so I go up there, and I approach it, and I give him the copies. He looks it over, and he asked me some questions, and he was like, well, this is pertaining to a birth certificate issued in Texas, which yours was not. And I said, I understand that, but I need this ordered, signed, to get my driver's license changed, which I will then use to change Social Security. I will then take both of those documents to get my birth certificate changed, take all of those documents, and send it to get my passport changed. And so he's like, well, at this point I'm going to have to swear you in. So he swears me in. And I'm not realizing that this means he's going to hear my case at this point. So, he swears me in, and I once again, based purely on the knowledge that I saw in the 2 hours in his courtroom, present my case. He then has me defend my case. I defend my case, and he says, may I see the order, please? And I say, okay. Thought he was just going to look at it. And he hands it back to me signed. And I look at it and realize it's signed, and this is slowly starting to register. And I'm getting more and more excited by the minute. And he calls the next case, and I was like, wait a minute. He just signed this. I just did a mock-up, presented, and defended my own case, and got my gender changed in the state of Texas without a lawyer. Are you kidding me? So I go to walk out, and the bailiff says, he looks at me, a nice older gentleman, and says, congratulations, Mr. Dvorak. I mean, seriously. So, all that said, I am now legally male in the state of Texas. And I did this on my own without a lawyer, which is supposed to be, with a lawyer is supposed to be damn near impossible. Without a lawyer is unheard of. So yeah. And then I went to the DMV. You know what? This is a topic for another video, because this one has run on long enough. I'll catch y'all in a few minutes. Alright, bye.